Hello everybody, my name is Methape and this is my forever world. I've had this world for about 7 months now, and I built most of it in this candy theme, and I know it's a lot to take in, but just bear with me here. And this actually was a server before I trimmed all the chunks and made it a world just for myself. And I'll definitely give you guys a tour at some point because you're kind of out of the loop on everything that I built. But today I just kind of want to treat it as an episode and work on some projects. The most recent thing I've been working on is this house over here. And as you can see, it's not really made of candy, and that's to do with a lot of the lore behind the world. So at one point, the candy biome was actually just a normal town, but then some sort of event or someone turned it into this. But I can tell you more about that later. So I want to do a lot today. I want to do the interior to this cottage, but I also want to make a gatehouse that connects from the candy world to the real world. And it'll kind of split in two in a way. It'll represent the way the candy's world came after a different world was beneath it, rather than it just being some sort of man-made place. So before we build the gatehouse, I want to focus on the interior to this place because it's where my auto sorter is, so I think it's important that it looks finished. Like, it's a total mess in here, so I'm gonna build it, but I'm sure there'll be some empty rooms. Okay, I finally finished it, and I thought it'd be a good idea to give a tour, because the montage I put together doesn't really show the way it all connects. I'm gonna try to speed walk through it, because I've already spent way too much time on just this segment. And so, first place you walk into is the mud room, and I did some armor stand stuff in here. I'm gonna try to keep this light throughout the world, but I do think it really brings it alive. It even comes with like one of those key bowl things, I don't know. And you walk in here and it really feels full of life. I feel like the elevator is really inconvenient. It's in the center of everything, just in the way. I guess it gives the build more personality. Back here's the TV room, which you've all seen. And this is something I didn't show in the montage, but it's one of those ladder things that slides against the wall to like get up to all the books and stuff. And then over here is our kitchen. And with the kitchen, it's kind of tucked away almost, and it has its own seating, but it doesn't really look homey. And there's also this huge freezer, and it even has its own little living room down here, but it's kind of not taken care of. And that kind of makes me feel like the people who live here maybe hire cooks to cook for them rather than cook them for themselves because it's kind of tucked away. But that's kind of just something I came up with last minute because I didn't know where else to put the kitchen. This is the library, or kind of like a study nook area. So we have a bunch of books and stuff. The one of the other places is the dining room. And I really hated this room at first, but I think it's grown on me. The chairs are kind of huge, but I think it's kind of funny. And yeah, so obviously the elevator doesn't actually function, so I had to make a real way to get upstairs. If we go up here, there's stairs, and it goes up to these rooms that I have no idea what to do with. Um, so for now, it's just two empty lofts, and I don't know if you guys have any ideas. And there's more empty space up here. Maybe it could be some sort of master bedroom or something, but it's also kind of gloomy, so I don't know. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit just to give some insight on my thinking during it. And I don't know if I've shown this yet, but down here's my storage. So this is obviously where I was getting all the materials for the interior, but it's finally time to build the gatehouse. And as you can see, I have a lot of stockpiled stuff. So I'll be good for a while on some farms, but eventually I'm gonna run dry of stuff and I'm gonna have to make my own farms, but that's an issue for another day. I want to build the gatehouse, so I'm gonna get the materials and then we're gonna build it. It's done. I feel like this is my favorite build so far out of the Candy World. It's actually based off the mental hospital from Adventure Time. It really set the standard for how builds will be here from now on, because previously they were kind of chaotic, and I feel like it still fits the theme like this. I might even change some old builds. Like this one, like I don't know, it's just very stale looking. I could see myself going back and tweaking some of them. So I don't think I'm done yet because I was getting ready to build this and I realized I had to push the mountain back. So I carved out like how I think I want the shape to look. But then I was like, I'm getting ahead of myself. And I looked down at the riverbed and I want to bring the candy down more, and the glass stuff I'm definitely going to redo a lot of. The last thing I want to do, I want to start carving out this mountain. So I want to add a river that goes through here, and it'll go through this ravine and connect up with this other side of the ocean. and that'll help the place feel more separated from the outside world. That's what I'm doing next, but I'm not making the river today. I'm just gonna carve out some of this just so this area feels complete. And as for this land that connects up, I think I'm gonna worry about that later. The shape is really bad right now, but I do have some ideas. I think it'll end up looking really cool because if you go down here and imagine like a path and you come up through this little mound, the way the place kind of reveals itself is pretty cool to me. And there's also going to be some really cool stuff up in that mountain eventually that should end up looking really nice. We're going to fix this up and we're going to expand the river a tiny bit and we're going to redo the glass. So hopefully the soda looks more like fizzy soda. So yeah, I have a lot of digging to do. I will see you after that. Okay, it's finally finished. Even though I was just supposed to do the gatehouse, I ended up redoing like a lot of the terraforming and it looks so much better. And I also added this bridge extension thing. I don't know, maybe the bridge was really old and it was added after like erosion happened or something, but don't quote me on it. And I ended up doing a lot more terraforming than I said I would. I basically repainted a lot of these front-facing mountains. I also added this new terraforming over here, and it's kind of like a harsh line of rocks. And I want the candy area to kind of look like it's not structurally sound, like in the terrain it's surrounding. So maybe like inside of the place, everything's perfect and there's a bunch of perfect lines and like wispy curves and terrain. But along the edges, you can see like it's sinking behind the rock. It looks really nice like that. And I love this little tree up here. I might keep that forever, or maybe I'll turn it into a custom one forever. I don't know. Another thing that shows that, I actually went in and added this after I built the bridge. I kind of made the bridge look like it fell apart a little whenever like the candy and the normal meat. So it kind of looks like it's not really meant to be happening anymore, which I'm happy with. But there's way more dramatic stuff I want to do with this. I want to like maybe eventually do some sort of building that was like half inside the candy zone and half inside the normal. But I think before I build something like that, I want to actually build stuff outside of the candy world because the only thing I have so far is the cottage over there, which I've shown you. And I definitely have an issue with going back and tweaking stuff that I've already made. It's not necessarily stuff I like to do, but I felt like it was necessary here because the way I was pacing myself with a lot of this beforehand, I was like rushing myself to get terrain done and then not even thinking about how it would feel to be in the world. And whenever I'm like making a video like this, I've learned that it kind of like forces me to actually look at my process a lot more, which is very helpful. So after I built this, I think I decided that I want to go back and tweak some of this old stuff because I don't think I was thinking the right way about building this. Originally, I had to make logic work behind every wall I placed. Like everything had to be candy. So like these huge bricks are meant to be like Rice Krispie treats. Like and like that was very limiting. And that's not to say I won't use those methods anymore, but it was like super limiting. And I was like, well, I can't add an extension here because what would it be out of? Especially whenever I'm building in a theme that's meant to be so chaotic and it's meant to be so colorful and it's meant to have so much to look at. So there's one more thing I want to do before I end the video, and it's going to be in the gatehouse that we just built. So I'm going to go in this disgustingly unfinished room and we're making a to-do list. Like we have to. I've been struggling way too much with like actually doing stuff. So it has to happen. It's not to say that I'm gonna follow it. So I just want to have like a place inside the actual world rather than like a Google Doc that kind of shows stuff that I need to do. Okay, this is everything I've got, and I'm not even gonna read them all out because it's so many. But most of the farms I mentioned here, I have them. They're just in a hole somewhere, and I need to like actually give them a place to exist. As you can see, I went a little insane and I kind of just started typing whatever. So I'm gonna hold myself accountable. I'm gonna put it in red, all the things I need to do still. And I'm gonna give myself a green one. And this green one is finishing my auto sorter. For a long time, I was living in my starter base that had the worst thing ever. And this green one is just for my own motivation. So over time, maybe I'll finish the list or maybe I'll never look at it again. I guess time will tell. There's also something else on this list that I need to add, and it's a big one, so get excited. Beat the Ender Dragon. You may be asking yourself, like, what are you talking about? You're wearing an elytra. I trimmed the chunks there from whenever this was on a server, so I need to do that at some point, and maybe I'll try to make it fun and like monumental feeling. And I definitely need like a spare pair of elytra because I'm pretty sure this is my only one that I have. But if you guys have any fun ideas for like making it actually exciting to fight it, let me know because I've done it like 1,000 times. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I feel like I've learned how to talk better already just from the start. So let me know if you have any ideas for stuff that I can add to this world or anything I can change about my videos. I'm usually pretty easily inspired by builds and stuff. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one if I make another one. And thank you for watching if you did. I will see you next time. Bye.